Warning, the content you are about to hear on this podcast contains some explicit language in the context of song lyrics. Discretion is advised.
I think that I'm just a rock chick.
I would describe my music and my sound as Avril Lavigne.
The best damn thing.
Welcome back to another episode of the Best Damn Avril Lavigne podcast, a facts and trivia-based podcast about Canadian pop singer Avril Lavigne. I'm your host, Andrea DiFrancesco. In this edition of the Best Damn Avril Lavigne podcast, we begin with the album that started it all, Let Go. In this episode, we'll learn some interesting facts about Avril's debut album and the iconic songs behind it. Let's start with some facts and trivia about the album itself. Let Go is Avril's debut studio album, and it was released initially on June 4th, 2002 in the US and Canada. It is her first album with Arista Records, and she was 17 years old at the time of its release. The album contains 13 tracks and runs at 48 minutes and 35 seconds. It debuted at number 8 on the Billboard 200 album chart, selling 62,000 copies in its first week of release. It eventually peaked at number 2. It was her only album to date to debut outside of the top 5 until 2019's Head Above Water, which debuted at number 13. The singles released from Let Go were Complicated, Skater Boy, I'm With You, and Losing Grip. Her favorite song on the album is Losing Grip, which was released as the 4th single. It is her best-selling album to date, selling more than 17 million copies worldwide. It is also her highest-selling album in the US, being certified 6 times platinum, which is equivalent to 6 million copies. The album was also certified diamond in Canada for over 1 million sales, which is a rare achievement. The album received 7 total Grammy nominations in 2003 and 2004, Best Pop Vocal Album, Best Female Pop Vocal Performance and Song of the Year for Complicated and I'm With You, and Best Female Rock Vocal Performance for Skater Boy and Losing Grip. Avril herself was also nominated for the Grammy for Best New Artist, totaling 8 nominations, and it is her only album to date to receive any Grammy nominations. It also won for Best Pop Album and Best Album of the Year at the 2003 Juno Awards, which is the Canadian equivalent of the Grammys. In 2002, it was nominated for Best Album at the Billboard Music Awards. In 2003, it also received the awards for Best 10 Albums from the Gold Disc Award Hong Kong, Rock and Pop Album of the Year at the Japan Golden Disc Awards, Best Album from the Brazil Music Awards, and Main English Female from Premios Oi. It was nominated for Choice Music Album at the 2003 Teen Choice Awards. This album made Avril the youngest female solo artist at the time to have a #1 album in the UK. Let Go also made Avril only the second artist in history and the only Canadian artist to have 3 consecutive #1 top 40 singles from a debut album, Complicated, Skater Boy, and I'm With You. The only other artists to achieve this were Ace of Base and Lady Gaga. It was the 3rd top-selling album in 2002 in the US. It was also the highest shipped debut of 2002 and the best-selling album by a female artist. Avril received the MTV Video Music Award in 2002 for Best New Artist, which was her first professional award. In 2002 and 2003, she won the World Music Award for World's Best-Selling Canadian Pop Rock Artist of the Year. At the 2003 MTV Asia Awards, she won for Favorite Female Artist, Favorite Breakthrough Artist, and the Style Award, the most awards of any performer at the ceremony. In 2002, she won the award for Influential Woman of the Year from Rolling Stone magazine. A reader's poll by Rolling Stone ranked Let Go as the 4th best album of the 2000s. At the end of the decade, Let Go ranked number 21 on the Billboard 200 album chart. It has a positive rating on Metacritic of 68 out of 100, based on 9 critic reviews. It is her highest rated album on the site. The logo for the album is a red star, and the main color scheme is red, blue, and black. The album booklet contains Avril's actual handwritten lyrics. The title that appears on the album cover was sketched by Avril while she was sitting in a meeting and was bored. The font for the album is called Die Die Die. She is credited with playing the electric guitar on Nobody's Fool. Let Go is Avril's only album to date where every song has been performed live, and it took about 1 year to complete the album. The timing of the recording sessions is debatable. Some sources list the recording sessions taking place from May 2001 to March 2002, while others say the sessions ended in January 2002. In the previous episode of this podcast, I did mention facts about Avril before she was famous and how she got her start in the music industry, so a lot of that information about how the record deal came about and stuff is actually in that episode in more detail, but I'll just kind of do a brief recap of it here as well. When Avril was 14 years old, she won a local radio contest to sing on stage with Canadian country singer Shania Twain. This gained her much press attention, which led to her being discovered by her first manager, Cliff Fabry, while she was performing country covers at a Chapters bookstore in Kingston, Ontario. He later arranged for her to work with producer Peter Zizzo in New York when she was 15. Avril left her hometown of Napanee to work with Zizzo on a demo tape. They wrote a song called Why. A few days later, the head of Arista Records, Antonio L.A. Reid, heard about Avril and came to Zizzo's studio to hear her sing. She sang 3 songs for him, including Why, and was immediately signed to a 2-album record deal. She finalized the deal in November 2000, shortly after she had turned 16. She left Napanee to live in a studio apartment in New York along with her brother Matt. Reid initially wanted professional songwriters to give Avril new country songs in the style of Celine Dion and Faith Hill, since Avril had grown up singing country music and auditioned for him with 2 country covers. However, Avril insisted that she be allowed to write on the songs and take the album in a more guitar-driven pop direction. After spending about 6 months in New York writing songs, she was unhappy with the direction and moved to Los Angeles to work with the songwriting team The Matrix at Decoy Studios in Valley Village. They were tasked with writing 10 songs with her for 1 month, but ended up working together for 2 months. Among the tracks they wrote together were the hits Complicated, Skater Boy, and I'm With You. At one point, Arista wanted to drop Avril from the label because she was persistent on doing heavier, rock-laden songs like Losing Grip and Unwanted. Avril said most of the tracks that made the final track listing of Let Go were songs that were written within the last 2 months of recording when she worked with The Matrix. The main writers and producers that Avril worked with for Let Go were The Matrix, which consisted of Scott Spock, Graham Edwards, and Lauren Christie, Cliff Magnus, Kurt Frasca and Sable Breer, and Peter Zizzo. According to Scott Spock, Avril normally recorded each song in 5 or 6 takes, but probably 90% of what was finally used came from the first or second takes. L.A. Reid suggested the album be called Anything But Ordinary after one of the songs, but Avril wanted to call it Let Go because she felt like that's what she had done after writing all the songs. Though a title track was written for the album, it ironically did not make the final cut. Avril also wrote a song called Break Away for the album, which was passed on to Samantha Moore before finally being given to Kelly Clarkson, which she recorded for her sophomore album Break Away in 2004. The song was also featured in the 2004 film The Princess Diaries 2: Royal Engagement. Avril wrote another song for Let Go called Falling Into History, which was recorded by Brie Larson for her debut album Finally Out of P.E. She reportedly had a boyfriend while working on the album, which is why there are so many breakup songs. She dated Mark Gould, who was the frontman of a band called Off by One, who would often be recording at the same studio as her. The supporting tour for the album was called the Try to Shut Me Up Tour. Avril's touring band for Let Go was Evan Taubenfeld on lead guitar and backing vocals, Mark Spikulik on bass, who was later replaced by Charlie Menez, Jesse Colburn on rhythm guitar, and Matt Brand on drums. Avril's signature style during Let Go was tank tops or t-shirts worn with men's neckties and a pair of Dickies, along with Converse high tops and sweatbands or spiked bracelets. The media often referred to her as the anti-Britney because of her tomboy skater girl image. Avril, however, disliked this term and thought it was very mean. For a time, Avril dated her rhythm guitarist, Jesse Colburn. She is still best friends with Evan Taubenfeld, and they have written songs for some of Avril's later albums such as Under My Skin, The Best Damn Thing, and Goodbye Lullaby. She also invited him to be the opening act for the Canadian leg of the Black Star Tour in 2011. Avril stated in later interviews that she thought Let Go was too overproduced and too pop, but knew that she had to make pop music in order to break onto the charts. She received much criticism in the media, questioning the validity of her involvement with the songwriting. The album was later released as a sketchbook edition, which contained drawings in the album booklet. It was also released as a tour edition featuring bonus tracks, live performances, and music videos. When inserted into a computer, bonus material can be accessed, such as the bonus track I Don't Give, the complicated music video, song lyrics, Avril's biography, and a short documentary called A Day in the Life. The executive producer of Let Go is Antonio L.A. Reid. Avril is also credited with being in charge of art direction. Avril's bandmates Evan, Mark, and Matt appear in the album booklet, the only album booklet to feature Avril's bandmates. And on the back of the album cover, she is posing with an electric guitar, the only time she has done so for an album thus far. Now let's dive into some facts about each track. Losing Grip, written by Avril Lavigne and Cliff Magnus, produced by Cliff Magnus. It is the opening track on Let Go and Avril's favorite track on Let Go. It was released as the 4th single on April 1st, 2003. It peaked at number 64 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 33 on the Adult Top 40, and number 17 on the Mainstream Top 40. It reached number 1 on Hong Kong singles. It was certified gold in the US, which is the equivalent of 500,000 copies. It was also nominated for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance at the 2004 Grammys. The music video was directed by Liz Friedlander, who also directed Don't Tell Me. There is an MTV making of the video documentary for this video, which you can find on YouTube. Towards the end of the video, the audience gets to see from Avril's point of view. This was achieved by placing a wig resembling Avril's hair onto the sides of the camera. She stage dives in the video, and her band appears with her in the video. There was an open invite on Avril's website asking for fans to appear in the video as a member of the audience. The video was shot in New York, and fans had to be 18 years or older to attend. It has been performed on every tour except the Head Above Water tour. On the Best Damn tour, it was performed as an abridged acoustic version, and on the Black Star tour, it was performed as part of an instrumental medley, along with Unwanted and Freak Out. It was performed for one show on the Avril Lavigne tour in 2014 in place of Bad Girl. In an AOL listeners poll, it was voted as her 10th best song. In 2005, Avril performed this song with Alanis Morissette at the House of Blues. It is presumed that this song was written before Avril teamed up with The Matrix, as she had also written the song Unwanted with Magnus, and Arista was afraid she would write an entire album of heavy rock songs. She has explained that the song was written about a boyfriend who, quote, didn't give me what I needed emotionally. I was just his chick. Complicated, written by Avril Lavigne and The Matrix, produced by The Matrix. It was released as the first single from Let Go, as well as Avril's first single overall on May 14, 2002. Its B-sides include I Don't Give and Why. It reached number 1 on the top 40 and number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it her second most successful single after 2007's Girlfriend. It broke a record previously held by Natalie Imbruglia's Torn for holding the number 1 spot on the top 40 for 16 weeks in a row. Readers of Rolling Stone magazine voted this song as the 8th top single of the decade. Blender magazine ranked it number 197 on its list of the 500 greatest songs since you were born. It was also ranked number 83 on the list of the top 100 singles of the decade by Billboard magazine. It was also ranked number 6 on the AOL radio listeners poll of her best songs. It was nominated for Song of the Year and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance at the 2003 Grammys. It won for Single of the Year at the 2003 Junos, along with several other awards including BMI, the ASCAP Film and Television Awards, the Radio Music Awards, and the Canadian Radio Music Awards. Parody artist Weird Al Yankovic did a parody of this song on his 2003 album Poodle Hat called A Complicated Song. The song was also covered as part of a dance remix by Steve Aoki and Yves V featuring Ryan Caraveo, which was released on May 21st, 2021. The music video was directed by the Molloys, who also directed He Wasn't and Girlfriend. She plays the electric guitar in the video. This is one of only 3 videos where she wears her signature tie look, the others being Skater Boy and Here's to Never Growing Up. A very similar outfit was featured in the Here's to Never Growing Up video in 2013. The outfit she wears in the video was later displayed briefly at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame until Avril asked to have it back. She now has it stored in a fireproof safe with other significant memorabilia. She told fans this on receiving some fan mail, to which she said she has cabinets full of the stuff at home. The video was filmed at Eagle Rock Plaza in Los Angeles over the course of 2 days, and the mall remained open during filming. Her band appears in the video with her, including her original bassist, Mark Spikuluk. Her brother Matt and sister Michelle make cameo appearances in the basketball scene and sitting on the couch in the skate park, respectively. Some B-roll footage from the shooting can be found on YouTube. This is the only music video besides Rock and Roll to feature a talking intro. The intro was parodied in the music video for Girls and Boys by Good Charlotte. There are also a few scenes featuring Avril skateboarding, which is something that she kind of just did on the spot, kind of spontaneously, and she was just kind of fooling around between scenes, and she asked a camera person to capture it, and she asked for it to be featured in the video. This was the first song Avril wrote with The Matrix, along with another song called Falling Down. She took 5 takes to record the song. She has described the song as being about people who are two-faced and fake. The lyrics were referenced in the film New York Minute. The winner of Season 2 of The Voice US, Jermaine Paul, sang Complicated for his blind audition. Avril sang this song as a duet with Chris Renee on the Season 1 finale of The X Factor US. It has been featured on the setlist of every tour. It was also used as the closing number of the Black Star Tour and the Avril Lavigne Tour. When Avril sang this during the Try to Shut Me Up tour, she invited 1 male and 1 female audience member to sing on stage with her. This song was also used in the trailer for the film Uptown Girls. It won the MTV Video Music Award for Best New Artist in August of 2002, which was Avril's first award. There are a few different versions and remixes of the song, including the Matrix mix, the Tom Lord Alge mix, and a techno remix featured in the video game FIFA 03. Skater Boy, written by Avril Lavigne and The Matrix, produced by The Matrix. It was released as the second single from Let Go on August 27, 2002. It reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the mainstream Top 40. It was certified gold in the US, which is equivalent to 500,000 copies. It was nominated for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance at the 2003 Grammys, which is also the song that Avril performed for that same ceremony, and is the only time to date that she has ever performed at the Grammys. Its B-side is Get Over It, and this song has been featured on every tour. It was used as the opening number for the Try to Shut Me Up tour and the closing number for the Best Jam tour. It is the shortest song on Let Go, running at 3 minutes and 24 seconds. In the AOL Radio Listeners Poll, it was voted as her 4th best song. This is one of Avril's few songs that takes on a storytelling angle. It is also one of Avril's few songs to feature a guitar solo, and each chorus has different lyrics. It was inspired by her experiences in high school being part of the Skater group. It is about a boy and girl who secretly love each other but feel they can't be together because of social constraints. The girl dumps the boy, who later goes on to become a famous rock star. She regrets this when she sees Avril gets him in the end. Avril originally intended to have the skater boy be herself, but she switched the genders because she thought it sounded better. At the time, Avril was dating Mark Gould, who was the frontman for the band Off by One, who would often be recording at the same studio as Avril. An early magazine article revealed that Skater Boy was initially going to be a duet between Avril and Mark. The music video was directed by Francis Lawrence. There is an MTV Making of the Video documentary for this video, which can be found on YouTube. While shooting the video, a crew member dared Avril to place a cockroach on her tongue for 10 seconds in exchange for $100, which she successfully achieved. Besides Complicated and Here's to Never Growing Up, this is the only video where Avril wears her signature tie look. Halfway through shooting the video, she loses her baseball cap. The t-shirt that she wears in the video advertises for an elementary school in North Carolina. So many fans called the school asking for the shirt that the school was able to buy new computers. Her stylist explained that Avril wanted to wear a vintage green shirt with yellow writing. The shirt was found in a thrift store. Her band appears with her in the video, including her original bassist, Mark Spikuluk. A video surfaced on TikTok, as well as a thread on Reddit in March 2021, claiming that there was a scene in the Skater Boy music video featuring the girl sitting at home alone in a dimly lit room with her baby, watching the Skater Boy on MTV. Many people claim to remember the scene very vividly, while several others claim the scene never existed, creating a Mandela effect. One Reddit user explained people could be remembering a version of the video that was recreated with the Sims video game, while others say it could be a scene from a completely different music video by another artist or band. In April 2021, TikTok user Chayaz did a side-by-side comparison of the videos from the original CD single and the YouTube version, noting that they were exactly the same and the scene did not exist. Paramount Pictures was interested in turning Skater Boy into a film, but the project was ultimately abandoned. Cascada recorded a techno cover of this song for their 2007 album Perfect Day on the European and Japanese editions only. Pop artist Ashnikko released a modernized version of the song with a feminist twist to the lyrics called Later Boy from her debut mixtape Demi Devil, released on January 15, 2021. The song has been featured in many TV shows, such as America's Funniest Home Videos, Generation Kill, and Cold Case. It has also been featured in the video games SingStar Pop and Rock Revolution. The Let Go album logo, which is a red star, appears multiple times throughout the video. Like in Complicated, Avril smashes a guitar in the video, and the single cover is a shot taken from the end of the video where Avril looks up at a helicopter. I'm With You, written by Avril Lavigne and The Matrix, produced by The Matrix. It was released as the third single from Let Go on November 19, 2002. It was nominated for Song of the Year and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance at the 2003 Grammys. It reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on both mainstream and adult Top 40, making it her third consecutive number 1 Top 40 hit. This achievement made Avril only the second artist in history to have 3 consecutive number 1 singles from a debut album. It spent 10 consecutive weeks on the top 10 and 27 weeks on the Hot 100, making it her second longest staying song on this chart, surpassed by Complicated, which stayed on the chart for 31 weeks. It has been certified gold in the US for sales of over 500,000 copies. She sang this as a duet with The Voice US Season 3 winner Cassidy Pope at the finale. This song has been covered by many talent show contestants, including Ben Hazelwood of The Voice Australia, Cassidy Pope of The Voice US Season 3, Amber Carrington of The Voice US Season 4, Diamond White of The X Factor US Season 2, Sophie Evans in Over the Rainbow, Amelia Lilly of The X Factor Season 8, Efezino Akpo of The Voice Nigeria Season 2, as well as 2 different contestants from The Voice Kids. It was also used for a dance number on So You Think You Can Dance. It was also covered by Kelly Clarkson as part of the Kellyoke segment on The Kelly Clarkson Show. Alternative artist Youngblood incorporated I'm With You into a cover of Cardigan by Taylor Swift as part of a segment for BBC Radio 1. Avril later joined him to perform the song as a duet on his livestream show in March 2021. It has been featured on the shows Scrubs and Smallville, as well as in the film Bruce Almighty and the Brazilian soap opera Women in Love. It was also used as background music for a Panasonic commercial starring Cate Blanchett and Jennifer Garner. It was featured in the video games Karaoke Revolution Volume 2 and SingStar Rock Ballads. A sample of this song is used in Cheers' Drink to That by Rihanna from her 5th studio album Loud. It was released as a single on August 2nd, 2011. It peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was certified 2 times platinum in the US for sales of over 2 million copies. In an interview with MTV News in late 2010, Avril spoke about being included on the song, saying, "It was really exciting because I'm With You is one of my favorite songs that I've done. I always love performing it." She also makes a cameo appearance in the song's music video. I'm With You's original music video was directed by David LaChapelle. Some B-roll footage from the shooting can be found on YouTube. Her band appears in the video only very briefly. There is an alternate ending where Avril meets up with her band. The video was shot in slow motion, so the music had to be played twice as fast for Avril to lip-sync properly. She put black streaks in her hair the day before filming, which can be seen when her hair blows back. Much Music named it one of the top 100 best videos of all time. Avril wrote the song on the piano when she was feeling sad about being single. The song is about being alone and trying to find love. Up until the Avril Lavigne era, whenever Avril performed this song live, it was always in a lower key. She has said this is her favorite song to perform live. For the writing and recording of her 2019 album Head Above Water, Avril teamed up with Lauren Christie of The Matrix once again and said that she wanted to write a part 2 of I'm With You, which ended up being the song It Was In Me. Mobile, written by Avril Lavigne and Cliff Magnus, produced by Cliff Magnus. It was released as a 5th promo single for Let Go in Australia and New Zealand as a radio-only single in 2003. It charted at number 26 in New Zealand. It was used in the 2003 film The Medallion, the 2004 film Wimbledon, and a brief appearance in the film Just Married. A music video was originally planned but was never finished. Some footage leaked in 2011 featuring Avril playing the electric guitar on an abandoned road. In the B-roll footage found on YouTube, the concept for the video was to have Avril run across a row of amplifiers and feature clips of Napa Knee, which would be shown on the Try to Shut Me Up tour. It is not known why the music video was never completed. When she played this song on tour, she played the electric guitar. Mobile has only been played on the Try to Shut Me Up tour and some shows of the Bones tour. The song is about how her life changed after getting a record deal. Unwanted, written by Avril Lavigne and Cliff Magnus, produced by Cliff Magnus. It was released as a radio-only single in the UK, and it has only been performed on the Try to Shut Me Up tour and the Bones tour. It was also part of an instrumental medley along with Freak Out and Losing Grip on the Black Star tour and was performed for one show of the Avril Lavigne tour. It is presumed that this was written before Avril teamed up with The Matrix, as she had also written the song Losing Grip with Magnus, and Arista was afraid she would write a whole album of angry rock songs. In fact, it's actually the first song that Avril wrote and completed for Let Go that made the cut. The song was written about a boyfriend's parents who didn't think Avril was good enough for their son. I actually remember reading the article. I don't remember what magazine it came from, but I remember reading the article where Avril talked about writing this song, and she said in more detail, she said something like she went to this boyfriend's house for dinner and the parents just didn't seem to like her very much. She probably had some kind of reputation for being a little bit like rambunctious, and so they probably thought she would be like a troublemaker. And she said, like, I did my best, like I was on my best behavior. I offered to help with the dishes and they just like still didn't like me. This is one of Avril's few songs where the title is not actually part of the chorus's lyrics, but rather in the second verse. Tomorrow, written by Avril Lavigne, Kurt Fraska, and Sable Breer, produced by Kurt Fraska and Sable Breer. It was featured in an episode from season 2 of Smallville. When she played this song on the Try to Shut Me Up tour, she played the acoustic guitar and was accompanied by her lead guitarist, Evan Taubenfeld. For the Dublin show of the tour, she played it as the last song and dedicated it to her grandfather, who had passed away only hours earlier. It has been featured on the Try to Shut Me Up tour and the Bones tour. It was played during the Canadian shows of the Black Star tour with Evan. In the sketchbook edition of Let Go, there is also an extra line at the end of the song saying, "Tomorrow it may change, tomorrow's far away." It is about finding hope and that things can change. It is about not knowing what the future holds. Anything But Ordinary, written by Avril Lavigne and The Matrix, produced by The Matrix. It was originally intended to be the 4th single from Let Go, but Avril wanted to release Losing Grip instead. Ellie Reed suggested that the album be named after this song, but Avril wanted to call it Let Go. It inspired the name for the 2003 ABC Family documentary Avril Lavigne, Anything But Ordinary. It was featured in the 3rd episode of season 1 of Birds of Prey. It has been featured on the Try to Shut Me Up tour and Bones tour. It is about wanting to be different and take chances in life and live on the edge. It is the longest song on Let Go, running at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Things I'll Never Say, written by Avril Lavigne and The Matrix, produced by The Matrix. It was released as a radio-only single in Italy. There's a demo version of the song that has a much more pop sound and also features different background vocals, and the chorus is repeated twice at the end. The song has been performed on the Try to Shut Me Up tour featuring Avril on electric guitar and some shows of the Bones tour. Avril revived the song for one show of the Avril Lavigne tour in 2014. It was used as the closing number of the Try to Shut Me Up tour. The song features double entendre lyrics on the chorus, I'd say I wanna blow you away, and I wanna see you go down on one knee. This song was sampled by rapper Sincere on his song Never Say. It is about a crush and all the things she is thinking about him but will never say. My World, written by Avril Lavigne and Cliff Magnus, produced by Cliff Magnus. It is about Avril's childhood growing up in Napanee. It inspired the name of her first live DVD. It has only been sung on the Try to Shut Me Up tour, and during the intro to this song, she introduced her band to the audience. One of the lyrics says got fired by a fried chicken ass, a reference to a job she held at Dixie Lee Fried Chicken before getting a record deal. She later called her old boss to apologize. Unfortunately, I can't find the source anymore, but I remember reading a story about the owner's daughter or somebody like that saying that when Avril worked there, she didn't do much of anything, which I don't think is surprising to any of us. Nobody's Fool, written by Avril Lavigne and Peter Zizzo, produced by Peter Zizzo. This song was released to radio on January 18, 2005, almost 2 years after the release of the album and after the release of Avril's second album, Under My Skin. The song is about being true to oneself and sticking up for it. Avril raps during the verses. On the studio version, she is credited with playing the electric guitar. This song has been performed on the Try to Shut Me Up tour and some shows of the Bones tour. According to the lyrics in the sketchbook edition of the album, there are some extra lyrics that were eventually cut from the final studio version. Got a lot on my mind. These are crazy times. I came here to find me, not to divide me. Hang up the phone. I got a backbone stronger than yours. I'm secure and I'm sure I'm gonna stay pure. I might have fallen for that when I was 14 and a little more green, but it's amazing what a couple of years can mean. Just fade away or play. It is also a possibility that this was one of the earlier songs written for Let Go, as Peter Zizzo was someone she began working with early on in the process. It was featured in the film Legally Blonde 2. Though Avril wrote many songs with Peter Zizzo, this is the only one to make the final cut. Too Much to Ask, written by Avril Lavigne and Cliff Magnus, produced by Cliff Magnus. It is about a boy Avril had a crush on who said he would call her but never did and decided to smoke weed instead. It has only been performed on the Try to Shut Me Up tour. During the live performances, there was an extra guitar solo by Evan Taubenfeld. Naked, written by Avril Lavigne, Kurt Frasca, and Sable Breer, produced by Kurt Frasca and Sable Breer. It is the closing track on Let Go, and it has been performed on the Try to Shut Me Up tour featuring Avril on electric guitar as well as some shows of the Bones tour such as in New Jersey, Belfast, Ireland, and Germany. It is about feeling vulnerable in front of someone you love. So there you have it. Those are some little known facts about Avril's debut album and the songs behind it. I hope that you learned some new things. I certainly did while I was researching this. There was some new stuff that even I learned just from researching this. So I hope that you guys maybe have learned some new stuff as well. And I thought how perfect of a time to put this episode out. As I'm recording this week, we are coming up on the 19th anniversary of the release of Let Go. Also, there are a lot of B-sides associated with this album that I think really need to be their own episode. That is definitely going to be a future episode coming up in the near future. I'm going to dedicate a whole episode to the B-sides and bonus tracks from all of Avril's albums. So if you think I missed them here, I promise that I didn't. They will be coming in a future episode. So that wraps up this edition of the Best Damn Avril Lavigne podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. If you enjoyed this episode, tune in next time for episode 3, where we'll dive into Avril's second album, Under My Skin. Do you know what the working title was for this fan favorite record, or which song was almost the lead single? Find out next time on the Best Damn Avril Lavigne podcast. The Best Damn Avril Lavigne podcast is hosted, produced, and edited by Andrea DiFrancesco. Theme music is HD and Lights by J. Powell Flicks. Follow the latest podcast news on Instagram at bestdamnavrilpod or email bestdamnavrilpod@yahoo.com.